Alrighty, back for podcast number 4.
Yep.
Heading
wild
on into
episode.
the season. Oh, what a good episode! I'm sure you're happy you got Saul.
Oh yeah, my boy Littlefinger. Oh, Littlefinger's back in the mix.
But according to what we see from next week, he may not be in the mix for long.
Man, I don't want to hear that. He's pulling the strings over there at the Erie. Robin's all sucking his titty now. Sucking Littlefinger's titty.
He's trying to take control of the Vale, you know.
But it's like how much longer how many people can you manipulate before you end up coming around into a circle before it all collapses in on
all the
you.
shitheads on the show eventually get theirs.
I'm telling you.
I see Littlefinger kind of like Tyrion, only without the morality. Not that Tyrion's
Right,
the most
zero
moral
morality,
person.
just straight up whatever gets me something.
Whatever gets me off, I like it.
But this episode, all about the ladies.
All about the ladies. Sansa's ready to go to war. She wants Winterfell
is.
back.
And she's grown up. She's seen the error of her ways, that conversation with Jon.
At this point, she's like, all of my other siblings are basically dead, so I have to apologize to you. If Rob was still alive, I don't apologize at all for being an ass to you. When we were
please
younger.
forgive me.
But you came back from the dead, so I'm pretty sure you can defend me. You've done big things since you left, Lord Commander.
I'm loving Brienne of Tarth, too. She's just like, she's looking at Melisandre like, I see you, bitch. I know what you did.
Oh, yeah.
You killed my king with your voodoo blood magic. Well, I killed your king up against a tree with my sword.
Yeah.
I really didn't think of it like that. It really was. It was kind of like a female dick measuring contest.
Brienne was talking shit.
She's like, I know what you did. Yeah, and I'm taller than you, too.
Mm-hmm.
And we've got, Tormund. Did I say his name right?
Yeah, Tormund.
We've got him and Brienne having a look. Both, I won't call her a savage because she's a badass, but she's not. She's very sophisticated and, pretty ladylike considering how she can handle men. But
she can be delicate at times, when she has to be.
That guy reportedly mounted and stuffed a bear.
He made sweet love to a bear, supposedly.
He stuffed it all right.
I don't know if Brienne...
Yeah, he stuffed it.
They say certain bears can be as strong as 10 men.
Yeah, we're not talking about Build-A-Bear Workshop either.
No, but we are talking about stuffing. But so maybe they've got maybe they'll have a thing going.
Yeah, that would be great.
He's probably like, wow, that's the first. To him, that's the first woman he's probably seen that could give him a run with some hand-to-hand action.
She's a badass.
But yeah, I didn't think of it like that. It really was, like she's saying, you killed my king, I got you back. I killed your king.
I don't forget.
And we actually find out that Sir Davos still hasn't learned of the fate of the princess.
I was inquiring on that. Last episode?
Yeah, that's right. Okay, wow, yeah.
And he doesn't know, and she still never told him, obviously, because she knows she doesn't want to say, "Oh, I told Stannis to tie her to a stake and burn her." So she's just kind of like does that. Whenever somebody does the not answer and walk away thing, you automatically know something bad happened and they did it.
Yeah, exactly.
You did it.
You're guilty.
But. So, he doesn't know yet about the princess, which that just shows you how far that show will go. I mean, they actually showed a little girl get burned alive. The Walking Dead was making a big to-do over showing one of their first kid zombies since the beginning, and yet here they are burning them on a stake. Yeah. But big episode, lots of things happening, setting up. I told him, before you got here, I was like, I really do hope that what they're going to do is, I don't want them to kill off too many main characters because there's so many I want to see fighting the White Walkers when it comes to that. Like a Brienne of Tarth, I don't want her to die, period, but I could see her going down, taking out a shitload of White Walkers if you give her like a Valyrian steel sword.
It's as many times as on the show she's saying that she would lay it down her life, especially for the Starks, with it being Catelyn and later Sansa.
Right.
I'm fearful that she's going to go down.
It's time to put up or shut up. Right?
No, I do. And I really don't want her to go because she's just such an awesome character, and the actress that plays her does good. They found a hit gold with her.
Yeah.
And we saw Asha come back very shortly.
Yeah.
Oh, man, that broke my heart.
That was sad. George R. Martin liked the television version of her so much. He said that when with his new books, he was going to really take her places he didn't think he was going to, just because he really liked the character. And
I really hope because of her death on the show that they'll continue to have her, in the books at least for a little while longer.
I mean, the way this show goes, I really for a second thought Ramsay was about to catch a knife in the neck. Which, side note to anyone watching Ramsay, you should know not to follow his example in anything he does. But if you ever cutting an apple, take the blade and cut away from you.
Yeah.
He's like cutting it straight to him. Like
him, yeah.
I've never watched someone cut an apple and wish they would have the worst slip of all time. It's like right through his throat. But I really thought she was gonna like kill him. I'm like, okay, awesome. Yeah. I don't have to. It doesn't have to be this big grandiose. Theon chops his wiener off and all of that. If she wants to stab him in the throat and kill him, I'm so ready for him to die.
Yeah.
You know,
it was just like, forget about you, OSHA.
I mean,
no safety rules over here.
I mean, he really I didn't see. That's what I love about this show. I did not see that coming. I thought maybe he would like catch her trying to stab him and throw. I mean, he's a good villain. I mean, I really, in my opinion, I think he's the best villain they've had since Joffrey, as far as just as heartless.
And he's intelligent too.
Very.
Calculating.
Much more intelligent than Joffrey was. Joffrey was just a spoiled brat.
Yeah.
What I hated about that scene, though, is after he kills her, doesn't he pick up a whole nother apple and start peeling it?
Yeah.
Like, eat the apple you just peeled. I mean, that's just wasteful.
Peasants are starving,
That's
man.
what I'm saying. Winter's coming, you're just peeling apples like they're going out of style.
Peasants are out there starving in your kingdom.
To me, that was worse than the murder, the fruit waste.
Yeah.
I could see that. Fruit waste is unforgivable in JP's kingdom. So wherever he becomes warden of...
We know he's passionate about produce. So.
I certainly am.
But let's see. So Jon Snow gonna do it. Well, once he found it, that letter he read, man, was brutal.
He's like, come and see.
Yeah, and then it's like when he stops, you knew it was like, oh, hell. And I'm glad that she read it so we could hear, because I was like, oh, please don't. I want to know what else he said. And then after I got done hearing, I'm like, I kind of feel bad for hearing that.
And he said he was going to let all his boys rape her, right?
Right.
So after they rape her, she's still coming back to Winterfell to be his wife? Like, why is he going to let all his boys run through her and then still, like, wife up with her? That's what I'm
pretty sure he probably fillet her or some nasty shit.
Because, I mean, she's like his one, kind of legitimate claim to the North, right?
I don't think he cares about, like,
legitimacy
having sex with her or anything like that. I think it's more of just, like, a torturous thing.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
he just likes to have
torture.
someone at his mercy.
Yeah.
Even still, that'd be kind of gross. Cause he still wants to stick his wiener in there, I would imagine. I mean,
he could probably just get anybody he wanted to. I mean, he's not.
And the last girl he had seemed far more experienced than Sansa. I mean, this was her.
The pavement. Yeah.
I mean, I know this sounds bad, but I mean, if you were in Ramsay's position and you had some chick on top of you, why wouldn't you just like
get it and then kill her?
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, you're a terrible person for bringing that up, Matt. I knew where you were going with that. You'll never rule the North. I know your tactics, but no, I'd right.
Like, what I would do.
Like you've got this good-looking girl. I mean, because I thought Asha was hot. I mean, I just something about the wild and just being a wildling just instantly.
She had the attitude. You know? She had moxie.
I really liked it.
She could talk really good.
But not as good as Ramsay.
No.
Well, not good enough to fool Ramsay anyways. But yeah, that sucked. I really hated to see her go. But again, kudos to the show for constantly keeping you on your toes, because I didn't see that coming at all. I figured he probably at some point would kill her. I just didn't think it was going to be right there.
Mm-mm.
I was really disappointed.
So let's see what else happened in this episode. Jon Snow, of course, as JP and I were saying a little earlier, we were talking about it. Definitely suffering from a little kind of PTSD right now.
Yeah.
They said when you come back, not all of you comes back, so it definitely seems like dying has shaken him.
Yeah, it has, but like he still seems like the real Jon Snow.
He's still him. It's just that I guess he's seen how easy it is to die, and it's like he's like, okay, I just got back to life, and you're already trying to get me to go back to war.
I fought pretty much everybody.
Yeah, and
now like you want me to fight again?
Daenerys showing her real boobs.
Yes, apparently, yeah. Titties.
Now has a whole other army. I told him, and it's all theories. Nobody knows where it's going. We're basically seeing this. It's a Song of Fire and Ice. We're seeing the stage set to watch our people fight the White Walkers who are planning to take over the world, more or less, or at least Westeros. And it's like so. It's really to think you're going to have like the Wildlings, the Dothraki, and all these like mixed armies that might be fighting together against the White Walkers. That would be really cool to see.
Yeah, and the Dothraki are a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah.
And now they are subservient to Daenerys.
And she has all of them at this point. It's not just one little band. She's got the whole shooting match.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Do you think that she's going to free the Dash Colleen? Or do you think that she'll keep them locked up in the temple?
She'll probably free him. She's really not big on the whole captive slave
Yeah.
Which I know they weren't slaves, but she's just. I don't think so. At least not the good ones, not the ones that were nice to her.
What do you think she's gonna have to say to Tyrion when she gets back home? Like breaking bread with the masters?
I mean, I think she's going to have to respect what. She's smart. She's very, very smart. As we were talking, she's a hell of a strategist.
Yeah, and that's why she brought him on board. He makes great deals. He's a great deal.
I mean, I think he's just. It's a temporary. It's a Band-Aid on a bigger problem.
Like he said, you can't solve it overnight. The two problems people want to solve, is slavery and war, and he's not going to be able to solve them both right now.
With the Sons of the Harpy and the slavers, basically funding their cause. Tyrion is essentially just putting his finger in the leaking hole in the boat, he's just temporarily coming to like that agreement. But I think once Daenerys gets back, those slavers are in for it.
Oh yeah, and I like what he told him. He was talking about. He was like, I grew up, without slavery, and I was richer than all of you.
Mm-hmm. He's like, don't tell me about getting money. I know about getting money.
Sadly, this is the first episode, right, without a missing dick joke. Between Tyrion and the eunuch.
Oh yeah,
that's too bad.
I know. I was it's kind of was like an ongoing thing. Him making fun of the fact that his friend had no dick. But I think Tyrion. I really do see it setting up for Jon Snow, Tyrion, and Daenerys to freaking the three dragons. Some are saying too the way the blood was shaped behind Jon Snow kind of looked like a dragon.
I'll have to go back and check that out.
Check it out.
I'll have to, yeah.
Because I'm a huge fan of that theory, and though a lot of people have been talking about it for a while, if it did happen exactly how they had theorized it, I'd still be just as happy because it's good story writing. I mean, it's good storytelling. It's when you started watching this show, you would have never seen it going that route.
Mm-hmm. Missandei and Grey Worm, they're upset about Tyrion's decision.
Oh yeah. Well, then they haven't. But the thing is, they've both been
slaves.
right.
Yeah.
They've been slaves. But I think that the thing is they haven't seen the world from Tyrion's side. Yeah. He knows how these rich douchebags mingle. Like he knows you're not going to just be able to bring up your Captain America shield and be like life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, and they're going to be like, we agree. He knows you kind of got to play ball on their turf. Yeah.
At the same time. They're saying, Tyrion, I see what you're trying to do.
Right.
But you're not going to use them. They're going to use you.
Right. They're saying, we know people that have probably tried this approach.
Yeah, they don't call it masters for nothing.
Basically saying, we haven't been in your part of the world. You haven't seen your side of it, but we've seen our side of it. We know how these people are, and you don't quite know how these people are.
Right.
So, I mean, it's we'll see what happens, but I think they're going to take out the slavers.
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. I mean, with them gone and not having to worry about the, what are those masked guys called again?
Sons of the Harpy?
Sons of the Harpy running around. Life will be much easier for our queen. We see the grayscale has been exposed.
Oh, geez, the secret's out.
I hate that, man. I hate that.
Man, what was up with Dario busting his balls about, he's got it with Daenerys and Jorah's not.
Straight up was like, your heart can't handle it.
Yeah. I mean,
he's seen a couple Viagra commercials. Call your doctor, see if your heart's healthy enough for sex. Well, I'll tell you what, if my doctor
necessary,
if my doctor says no, your heart's not healthy enough for sex, well, you know what? I donate my body to science.
Maybe
take it.
Maybe that was just Dario, kind of marking his territory.
Right. It's just challenging. I think he sees that he's in love with Daenerys as well.
Think again,
and
man.
He's like, man, I'm hitting that. Back off. It's a very animal primitive type thing.
He's got to know he doesn't have a chance, though. I mean, has he really got to rub it in his face?
I don't think, and I don't think that he thinks. I know it sounds so unprofessional to ask. How do you say his name?
Jorah.
Jorah. I always want to say Jorah. Jorah.
That's a tough one.
I always want to say Jorah. Jorah. I don't think he actually thinks that him and Daenerys are going to be a couple. I think it's, I'm sure he would. But I think it's more of
about her, like when he's laying in his bed at night.
Well, he's like, hell, by being a servant, he got to stare at her naked last episode, and then you know what he's doing when he goes back to his tent.
No.
He just saw his queen.
He was the only one that kind of picked his head back.
Oh yeah, he's like, holy hell. I hadn't seen this in season 2.
I noticed that. But he seemed weaker this episode, too.
It's starting
with that fight with the Dothraki soldiers.
Yeah.
He pretty much got his ass kicked.
But I think that he doesn't. I think that he's aware that he's not going to be hitting that. I think more or less it's just a love, a general love for someone. And it's kind of like Brienne of Tarth is with whoever she's serving. Like that's who he's serving, so he wants to protect her.
He's at home in the bed with his grayscale, and he's trying to avoid touching certain things.
I was gonna say he's like, I'm gonna have he's got what on his left arm?
Yeah, his left arm. So let's hope he's
a righty. I have to go back and watch. I think I've seen him holding swords with the right hand, so he's still good. He's like, yeah, you catch that building on fire, Khaleesi.
Oh boy.
All right, so looking at other things we've got going on here, Littlefinger is back on the scene and playing Mercy. I think to get. You never know what he's doing.
Well, I mean, Robin is the Lord of the Vale now, so
the moon door,
the protector of the Vale.
Shall we throw him through the moon door?
So Littlefinger sees the opportunity. Hey, like I can be the guy behind the guy, and that's kind of where he wants to be anyway.
Oh yeah,
because the guy is the target, and I think with Littlefinger, he would rather just be in control of everything,
pulling the strings,
and he's manipulating this kid,
Huge manipulation.
He trusts him, and he doesn't even know that he murdered his mom.
Right? Yeah. Oh yeah. Thanks. What they had said she committed suicide, right?
Yeah, and I mean, and no more titty for him,
Right.
No more milk.
Which, I mean, it's like, man, you're like 13. It's time to let the tit go. Drink it out of the carton like the rest of us.
Find some other titties.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you're now like king.
I mean, there's got to be some other lactating bitches around, around the Vale. I mean, there's got to be, right? I mean, if that's your thing, I mean, lactation porn, that's a real thing in real life. I mean, I'm just saying.
American Horror Story, the guy on season 2 had the one whose mom was a prostitute, right. Remember? He had like a obsession with like when he would book a prostitute, it's like, are you lactating type deal.
Oh,
so, wow. There's some of that out there.
Yeah, too wet and wild for me. My taste, anyway.
Not trying to steal someone else's milk.
Nah.
That milk.
I bet it's really healthy for you, though. I bet that stuff's good for you.
Lots of nutrition.
Yeah.
Nutrients.
Keep you going.
Natural nutrients.
Yeah. Natural nutrients. That's a tongue twister.
Yeah, it is. All right, I'm trying to think what else we've seen on this episode. Cersei and Jaime seem to have the support of the Tyrells.
They've reached some common ground.
They've got a common enemy. It's like they won't like each other, but
and that's the only way they're going to combat them.
I'm just wondering who's going to betray who, because Marjorie's grandmother is not someone to be manipulated. I don't see her being the one to get played. Cersei has always got some up her sleeves, but she's so focused when she's angry or wants to destroy someone. Just how she got tricked with the High Sparrow, Like Marjorie's grandmother, I don't see that she's sharper. I don't think she's, I see her getting manipulated easily.
I think she sees that they have a good idea,
right?
And she's just like, well, let's see how this thing plays out. But but it's going to be them like coming to save her. So it has nothing to do with the Kingsguard or anything like that. So hopefully we'll see what happens. But as far as Tommen is concerned, he's just like, he doesn't want to do anything.
Oh yeah,
because like he's afraid that they'll hurt Marjorie.
Was I the only one super creeped out seeing the Grand Maester just like hovering over Tommen like that?
That was odd, wasn't it?
The slow walk out of the room, like he takes his time.
That's the Grand Maester from the beginning, right?
He's been there since
season 1. I mean, like, how are you still alive?
I mean, I guarantee he was pulling on something under that cloak of his. I don't know. I was just super creeped out.
So he had a fake arm holding the book or whatever.
Something was going on, man. I don't know.
Like holding the book and the other one's going down the road.
Yeah.
My lord.
It's just a creepy dude.
Oh yeah, he's definitely creepy, but he's gonna get it too. He's
I think the mountain might give him a little taste.
Oh yeah,
his own medicine. That's another thing. We didn't see the mountain this
Not
this
at all.
Yeah. Wonder what
well. Maybe he was busy going to the bathroom.
Cersei getting a little brave, walking around without a literal freaking mountain following her around. I saw someone this weekend though that I made a mountain reference to someone that didn't watch not The Walking Dead. So we do too many podcasts. Game of Thrones, and they totally didn't get it because they don't watch it. And so it was just like, I can't remember what I said, but it was a really good mountain reference, and it was just completely wasted. They were like, what are you talking about? I was like, Game of Thrones. Like, I don't watch that.
Yeah. Why are you friends with them?
I don't need that kind of negativity in my life. You know what? I'm going to figure out who that was. I'm going to go let them know. We just can't be friends anymore.
Please do.
And then then as I walk away, the mountain's going to come up and smash their head into a wall. Yeah. But we definitely see Cersei and Jaime on the warpath.
Yeah. Definitely.
Hopefully, hot little Queenie will get out of jail soon.
And we see Marjorie
holding it together
in the cell. She's. Last episode, it seemed like she was kind of breaking down.
Yeah.
The episodes we've seen her in, it seems like they were breaking her down, and she was about to snap. So.
But now she seems a little stronger after seeing her brother.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's like the stronger person latching onto a weaker person type thing. It's like when I quit smoking cigarettes, I quit with a guy that I worked with. Mm-hmm. Well, of course, first day, I'm like, God, I want a cigarette, and I'm about to go crazy. But, I mean, he's in here just whining. He's like, oh man, I got to get a cigarette. And I'm like, Jesus, it ain't that bad,
Stay
man.
strong,
Get you
man.
a Dum Dum or a Jolly Rancher or something. And watching this person struggle so hard made it to where I'm like, damn, I'm not that bad. I want one, but I'm not in here sweating. And I wonder if that's what it is. Like, she goes in and sees how broken he is, and it kind of draws some strength from inside her, Well,
then we get a little bit of backstory on the High Sparrow too, because he tells her that story about him. He was trying to be the wealthy guy, making shoes and stuff like that. Basically, essentially, making these fancy footwear for all the rich folks and using his earnings to live like they did and like going to orgies and parties and drinking wine and doing all kinds of crazy stuff.
And it's like no matter what he tells his stories or whatever to try to make him seem more human, I still just want something through his neck. I just want Jamie to walk in like, it doesn't even have to be no plot, no die. Just have Jamie just walk in and go stab him in the neck and walk off.
So the whole plan to rescue Marjorie, that hinges on her doing that like repentance walk, right? Like she's got to repent.
I think they're going to try to. I think they're going to try to stop her from do it before the walk.
What
right?
it is like they need her outside, so they can swoop in and rescue her. So like it really does hinge, and I think she's going to do it because she wants to get out of there,
right?
And she's basically telling her brother, Loras, is like, hey, let's keep with the program and stay strong, and then we'll get the fuck out of here, and just be done with it. And so I think they're trying to wait until she's out there, getting ready to do her penance walk or whatever.
That's when they're going to march up and basically.
And that's where they're going to swoop in and take her away and hopefully assassinate the High Sparrow.
God, it'd be great. I don't feel sorry for him when he tells these stories and humanizes himself. It's like you're still a douchebag.
I just hope at the end of it she's not covered in doo-doo like Cersei was. that would be unfortunate.
Oh, poor Marjorie.
Yeah.
As kinky as her and Tommen were getting, though, his first time, she might have already been covered in some doo-doo at some point. Remember that? Tommen's like everybody was when they lost their V card. He's laying there like, I could do this all day.
Yeah.
With Marjorie beside you, too. It's like, hell yeah.
Ooh.
But let's see.
Drink some Viagra root tea and go at it all night long.
It's a Viagra root tea.
Have mercy.
Or some generic Viagra root tea if you're trying to save money. I do know that they're trying to save a little money.
This tea is made from the Cialis root.
We didn't see Bran this episode.
No.
I was really kind of hoping we'd get to go back to the past a little bit more and see like Ned and what was in the tower and all of that. We didn't see that this episode.
We didn't see either of the younger Starks. No Arya either.
No
Arya. No. We didn't see Recon.
Yeah.
They're on a recon mission to recon. But we didn't get to see them either. There's just so many stories in this.
It's kind of nice. They take a break a little while.
Oh, it is. You don't get sick of certain characters.
They can focus on other things that are going on.
Tyrion's the one I don't want to go without. He's one of the ones I think maybe last season was like the only one that was in like every episode because he's just freaking awesome. Like I really don't want to go in. I don't want to be apart from Tyrion.
So Theon, he's back at the
he's back
Island.
with his sister who thought he was there to compete for the throne at first. Like she just was giving him the cold shoulder.
What do you want?
He was the one that got dissed this episode for missing his dick.
Yeah.
He's like, I know you got broken to 1,000 pieces. I got one in the mail, pal. I got to open that package.
I saw a funny meme that was like Jon Snow got his life back. It's like Arya got her sight back. Hang in there, Theon. But yeah,
she was like, nobody wants you to rule. You don't have a fucking dick.
You look at her from her point of view, though. It's like you try to you rescue this guy. People died, and all of a sudden he shows up, and she thinks he's there to compete for the throne. I thought she's about ready just to throw him off the damn side.
Ain't nobody wants you. Ain't nobody wants you.
It's the Iron Isles. Maybe he'll have an iron dick. Who knows?
But
they made Jamie an iron hand.
Yeah, why not?
And then they just like he's like, no, I just want to support you.
Right.
You should be.
I'm
ruling.
here for you. You should be ruling it.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see where that's going to collide. I do feel like all right, let's do this because I've had this discussion before about The Walking Dead with like the governor when it's like who would you have liked to seen kill him? Like in the comics, it was just a no-name character, which a lot of people weren't happy with. Yeah. Who would you like to see kill Theon? Not Theon, excuse me. Damn, there's so many characters. Shit. Who would you like to see? Ramsay Bolton. Yeah. Damn, I wanted to say Randall for some reason. Who would you like to see kill Ramsay?
I would like to see Michael Bolton kill Ramsay. That'd be great.
I'd like to see him with the Lonely Island.
Yeah. He just shows up on the show
and has like Andy Samberg and
as himself.
And there's
in the credits, Michael Bolton as himself. This is for ruining our family name.
It's like the walls of Jericho. Like he just starts singing and the walls start crumbling. Who would you like? Ramsay. I do know his name. I said it several times earlier. It's just God knows how many characters we go through.
I would like to see Sansa kill Ramsay.
How about you?
That would be a nice circle.
Would you like to see Theon maybe rip his wiener off and make him choke on it?
Man,
Eat this sausage, bitch.
I don't necessarily know that I'm ready for him to go, if you want to know the truth.
No, I don't have to be right now, just in the long run. Like, say you...
Assuming I want him to die, period.
Well, Sansa's the one that she's adamant about going back to Winterfell and taking everything over.
That's their home, you know. It's commander of the North.
And the vile things that he did to her, it would be nice to see her get her revenge.
And I agree 100%, but let's all agree also that he did some pretty vile things to Theon.
He did.
He took his fingernails out. He took his fleshlight out. I mean, he jacked him up.
No need for a fleshlight now.
Took his skin flute and just tossed it out the window.
The old meat cigar,
Yeah, if anybody's due to take him out, it's Theon, no doubt.
It would be cool to see like a 1-2 punch from Theon and Sansa. Like see them just bust in the room and she like stabs him and then Theon like just rips his wiener off.
Hedge clippers, just.
Long story short, I'm not going to be happy unless his wiener's ripped off.
Yeah.
I think you can gather that by now. You rip one man's wiener off, and you deserve.
Yeah, eye for an eye, a dick for a dick.
Bruce Willis from Sin City just shows up and beats his face in.
His weapon, both of them.
Damn. Yeah, I could see him being that guy though. Go the black and white with the yellow blood everywhere.
Hardigan.
Oh man, that'd be great. Maybe Bruce Willis will come in and say,
"You can't even lift that cannon."
Oh man, I don't. That'd be tough. I kind of would like to see Sansa. That's a cheap way out, I know, but I think nobody deserves it more than Sansa or Theon for sure. Again, I want that wiener. I want it ripped off
and just nailed to the wall. Like we saw Ned Stark's head on a pike. We want his dick on a
donkey
pike.
style.
And then go find like the one person that did like Ramsay and make him stare at it.
Yeah.
Stare at it.
Like pin the tail on the donkey style. You just blindfold him and you just walk around and pin the dick to the wall.
There's so many things we can do with his dick. So many things.
Put a pin in the middle and spin it around like Twister style.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, man. Yeah. I was with these podcasts. I was going to originally start them off by saying spoilers because every YouTube channel. But if you clearly see that it says season 6, episode 4. If you've watched this and you're mad that we've spoiled it for you, go cut your own wiener off because I mean, what do you think you're listening to? I just say that because there will always be that douchebag. So you could have gave a spoiler warning.
Well, you see the title.
You see, obviously, it's not like I just said, "Hey, cool Game of Thrones theory," and then spoiled it all for you. But let's see. Is there any more of the story or someone's story that we're leaving out? It's so many.
I mean, we haven't talked about Daenerys. Wiping those guys out, wiping out the Daenerys head bosses.
Yeah, we did.
Khalasar,
right? We did.
Well, we did briefly, yeah.
She's a master strategist, man. Like she is by far her. Imagine her and Tyrion together strategizing war. Remember the Battle of Blackwater Bay where he used all of that. What was that fire called? God, I had
I can't remember either.
It was based off a Greek fire. Was the idea when they created it, but. Like that was a good
wildfire.
Wildfire, maybe.
I think that's what they called it. Maybe.
Imagine that strategy with Daenerys. I always say Daenerys. Daenerys' strategy. Imagine like they could conquer anybody, and then you just got Jon Snow being. It's like we're going to strategize. Jon Snow, you go be Jon Snow. And everything will work out.
So is she able to like sort of manipulate fire now? I mean,
I don't think she can manipulate it. She's just immune to it, right?
I mean, because it looked like
the way
that it spread. It looked like it shot out a little bit.
Yeah, it definitely did.
Yeah.
But
or was it a liquid?
My thought was the room was rigged, right? Like maybe she got the helper, that girl that they didn't kill, to go ahead, because it looked like gas. She could be right. Maybe she did manipulate it, but my understanding was that she's just immune to the fires, that she can't be burned.
Okay.
Or, maybe it was some kind of oil in there.
Maybe they had come in and like spread oil all over the place before the meeting, and then, I mean, she's a hell of a strategist. I mean, because if she could just like shoot fire out.
When I saw the pyres or whatever, the fire torches or whatever you want to call them, I was watching the episode with Dad, and I was like, she's gonna set them on fire.
As soon as she put her hand on that thing, I was like, oh, it's game over.
Yeah.
That is tipping over.
And they were like, holy shit.
What if the liquid didn't catch, though? Like, I always think of like plans like failed, so she's like, yada yada, she always says this majestic thing, and she just pushes it over, but the fire doesn't spread, and they're like, that's a really bitch move. Somebody worked really hard to get that fire going.
My carpet.
Damn it, somebody sit that back up.
The look they had on their face when she grabbed it, they were like, fire burn, baby. Like, they couldn't believe it.
I tell you, they were going at it. The sex scene in the street, and Daenerys has caught so much dirty talk with these guys. I mean, they want them some whiter than milk. Well, she's not whiter. They're like, she's whiter than milk. Like, what kind of milk have you been drinking, man? Milk's maybe her hair. I mean, what kind of milk have you been drinking? She's kind of got a tan skin tone to her.
Yeah.
Like, I think your milk's a little spoiled there, friend. I want to check the expiration date.
That ivory skin.
Take it back to the Dothraki supermarket. Probably kill each other over it. How dare you threaten him? How dare you suggest my milk spoiled?
And then, I guess Dario and Jorah, they killed the guards outside and barred the door so they couldn't escape.
Yeah, without them, the plan might not even have worked.
Right. I wonder. That's what you wondered. Because she's kind of like, I told him, he's not watching. Did you watch Lost?
Like the first 2 seasons, and then I got lost.
Well, there's a character named Ben who always has a plan. Like that's his thing. Is you always think you got him cornered, and bam, he had a play. You fell right into his plot. That's kind of how she is. I mean, she's very and it makes you wonder: did she have a game plan? She seems extremely calm the whole time. She's at this place. She knows she's not staying here long.
Yeah.
But then with them showing up the way they did, it definitely might not have been possible without them. So you wonder, kind of like what was going through her mind.
I think she's a strategist as well as an opportunist.
Right. She sees them show up.
Yeah.
She's like, all right, guy I'm doing, and guy who wants to do me.
Yeah.
They're going to do whatever I want. And then, man, I mean, for those, Daenerys fantasizers, and then to have him talk about how she's a little girl, but, he can hardly handle her in bed herself, it's like, well,
no.
What did you expect from the Mother of Dragons?
She's fierce. But, she basically burns down the Khalasar, and
everyone bows.
But she walks out, like, what's up? Here I am.
What up? Do not go in there.
Oh, boy.
Woo!
That would have been great. Ever come out and go, woo! Do not go in there.
All you old widowed, Khaleesi bitches, talk your shit now.
Exactly.
Talk it now.
Some of you
I
are
don't hear
gonna be
nobody
free.
talking much shit to me now.
Some of you are about to be free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's just gonna change. So was this this was like the hub of the Dothraki, right? Like last time she had like a small fleet. Now she's got the main. Because I know they were they're all, of course, I guess under the same thing, but they like Khal Drogo's group wasn't the entirety of them. Right?
Yeah, that's what I thought at first.
And so it's like now she's like in Manhattan right now. She's got the hub of the group, and it's interesting. I really do see a mixing of the armies.
Mm-hmm. I mean, obviously, with now she has the Dothraki and the Unsullied.
Yeah.
So her army just grew exponentially.
And Jon Snow's got the wildlings, and probably going to have some support coming out of the north for those that hate Lord Bolton and Michael Bolton alike.
Yeah, like 3,000 troops shorter than Bolton, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Supposedly Ramsay has 2,000. 5,000.
I
mean, and the wildlings only have about 2,000.
Yeah, I meant Jon has 2,000, but. It could with the Umbers and all that stuff too. Who knows what's going to happen with them?
Well, they've got giants too, right? I mean, the wildlings have giants on their side, or at least a giant we know on their side. One.
Yeah.
Very simple name there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really am. I would love to see a mixed. I mean, because they're going to have this giant army to fight the wildlings. I mean, and everyone's going to have like Valyrian steel or dragon's glass.
I was kind of disappointed we didn't see Hodor.
Yeah.
True that. Yeah.
I want to see more about Hodor.
Well, like see his backstory and find out why all he can say is Hodor.
I read a theory online about Hodor actually.
Uh-oh.
Let's hear it.
The theory is that Willis, Hodor, Willis was a warg, and he warged into a horse whose name was Hodor, and so now he got stuck in the horse, and the horse and him. So basically, Hodor is just a horse, essentially. Willis never came back from his warging session,
and Brand has been, riding him and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So.
Let's clarify that he's been controlling him, right?
Well, I'll leave that up to
no, you know what? He has been because he's had him on his back and everything. I was thinking about the mind control, and it's like, whoa,
Hodor.
Hodor. Like you'd say your name over and over again too. And then like afterwards, he's like, "You gonna get a drink?"
Hodor.
Oh man, that is a cool theory though. I mean, I remember reading a theory like 2 years. Well, it was 2 seasons back. I just got into Game of Thrones like a year or so ago, but talking about the theory that Bran was a time traveling psychic type thing, and it turns out he pretty much he is. I mean, he's traveling through time, so that's it's cool that you can guess. People can come up with these theories, but the show's still not predictable, even though some of them are right. And JP, when I'm talking, I'm not trying to just stare at Matt or make you feel like isolated in the corner. It just, like normally that's where people sit when I interview them. So naturally I look to my left, but I'm trying my damnedest to keep looking back. I'm going to have to just get you two to sit together. Yeah. From now on, you're going to have to sit uncomfortably close so I can stare you both.
Slide on over.
Oh, boy.
Hodor.
Oh, man. There's been some kinky stuff out there. Some Hodor.
Mm-hmm. That's just going to be a new word for all the explicit.
Imagine Hodor and Pikachu would be like the most annoying sex encounter to listen to.
Oh, man.
Pika, Hodor. See, I imagine Hodor being like this vicious beast, and Matt's got more like the sensual, nice Hodor. It's just like, that's the Hodor that afterwards he wants to know about your day.
It's
he
the
wants
Hodor
to know
who's
your
selling
inner
perfume,
secrets.
perfume commercial Hodor.
Hodor. Like he's whispering in your ear.
Yeah.
Well,
maybe he saw his mom go into a brothel and never came out. She went into the Hodor, and I mean, who knows?
Please tell me you came up with that on your own.
I hope so.
That is freaking epic right there.
Copyright that.
The Hodor.
The Hodor.
Ah, man, that is amazing.
You got to come through the Hodor.
Maybe that's how you break him. You take him through the Hodor, and he's like, whew, finally got through it. All right. I had so much to say. Bran, you little heavy bastard. Learn how to walk like the rest of us.
And, that brings me to another point. As far as the theory that he's a horse or whatever, he's afraid of thunder.
Yeah.
Horses are kind of afraid of thunder, right? Loud
True
noises.
That. Yeah.
Can Bran control any other? Have we seen him control any other people?
Not to my knowledge.
Not yet. So maybe that's
why he could control Hodor. I mean, because if he could control people, and maybe obviously it's a lot to this show, so we could very well be missing something and not remember. Forgive us again. We have to. We wish we had enough time to sit and study this show, and then but maybe. Because you would think if you could just jump into anyone's mind, hell, jump into your enemy's mind and just run him off a damn cliff.
Yeah.
So maybe he can. That's pretty cool. Maybe that's the reason why he can control Hodor. Hodor.
A lot of empty space up there.
Curious Hodor, like Hodor. I wish they'd give him different inflections. It's like angry Hodor. Hodor. It's like concerned Hodor. Hodor. Redneck Hodor. Hodor. Gangsta Hodor. Hodo.
He's watching NASCAR. Hodor.
Woo! He's watching like a horse race. He's like Hodor. Throwing ale like bone cups instead of beer cans. Throwing bone cups at the horses. Hodor. Oh man, the many phases of Hodor. Well, I believe that wraps it up for this episode, right? Have we covered everything?
You want to talk about the preview for
next episode?
Yes,
we didn't get to see that, so you tell us what we missed.
Okay.
Paint a picture for me, man.
So the first scene of the previews We see Sansa and Brienne confront Littlefinger. And they're asking about Ramsay, like, hey, was that on purpose? Like, did you mean to leave me? You know?
Right.
What's the deal with that? So Ramsay, Littlefinger could be in some deep shit here soon.
Hopefully.
Chicken's coming home to roost.
Exactly. We see Arya and Jaqen back in the training. He hands her like this little bottle of something. I guess maybe poison for an assassination, so she might be getting her first real mission. And then, we see Yara at the Kingsmoot staking her claim to the Salt Throne. So we'll see how that goes with Euron in play. And then we see Tyrion and Varys meeting with what looks to be another Red Woman.
Oh, remember I told you we saw that one in the alley that time when Tyrion first arrived there, and she kind of was preaching about Daenerys, and then she stopped and kind of stared at him like she saw something, obviously.
And she had the same like little choker that Melisandre has. And basically she's just like, knowledge is power, and there's so much that you don't know. So we'll see what happens with that. That's very interesting to me. And then we see Bran. He has another vision, or he's going back whatever
really
it may be.
To see where that's going.
And he's in front of a horde of wildlings, and a White Walker is over his shoulder looking at him.
Like he might could see him.
Yeah. So
because we know Ned heard him.
And Mira is desperately trying to wake Bran out of that state. So
while the White Walker's
so he could have stayed
too long.
So we'll see how that breaks.
I love it. I love the storytelling in this, man. You just never know where it's going to go. I mean, there's so many questions. So could Bran have affected? Could it be one of these full circle things to where Bran went back in time to observe, but got too involved and actually things play out the way they were always meant to because of his actions? Kind of like it'd be really cool to see how that goes. I'm excited.
A lot going on. I'll
tell you what, this show definitely keeping me more anticipated for the next episode as opposed to our other podcast, Fear the Walking Dead. I enjoy it. I do like it. Now, unlike the, I don't hate it. I think JP's, okay.
We have a lot more breathing room on that one, that's for sure.
But this, man, it's like every episode is just building.
Yeah.
Which is like the other Matt was telling us, this is filmed by guys that normally film movies. So that's probably why you have such good storytelling, and it's
I'm sure their budget is astronomical.
Oh, it is millions, man. Yeah. I used to I heard it, but it's a lot. I mean, they get and they've got to, and that's why you get such a good show.
Yeah, the visual effects are stunning. The acting's great.
Very good acting, very good casting. They do good all the way around.
Great source material.
Yeah,
it's just a wonderful.
It's cool that now they're past the books and they can kind of do what they want.
Yep.
Be interesting first time where you're going back reading the book to see how it played off of the show.
I mean,
normally watching the show.
That's what got me involved with reading the books.
I'm going to start reading. I'm going to buy a little collection.
Yeah,
they're just so long.
I'm saying those are doorstops, man.
I mean, they're long.
I have the digital version of the first book, and it's like 875 pages.
Jeez,
the digital version. So I don't know how that translates to paperback or hardcover.
And I'm a book person. I like to.
You like the physical?
Oh yeah, I like to have the book. Though the digital's far more convenient.
Yeah.
Oh, you go both ways, huh?
Yeah, I do. I certainly do.
What? Just
so
you guys were talking about comics, right? One of you likes
that's
digital.
Something I haven't crossed over on yet.
Oh, I'm all the way digital. Yeah. I'm all for it.
Just so we know what.
Like comics, I'm not doing digital comics. I haven't really crossed over on that.
Well, see, I do a lot of traveling, so for me, it's just easier to just take my iPad with me, and I can have access to anything I want to. It's up there in the cloud. All I got to do is download it. And,
nobody understands the cloud.
It's just floating around in the air.
Yeah,
that's the way I picture it, but I know that's not the case. But
well, good podcast. Let's rate this episode, starting with Matt. What would you give it?
I'm going to give it an 8.4.
Okay.
There were some heartwarming moments. We got to see Sansa and Jon.
Finally.
And it was a parallel too with brothers and sisters this episode. So we got Jon and Sansa.
Jaime and
Loras and Marjorie.
Yeah.
And in all cases, the woman is the strong one.
Yeah.
And Theon and Yara.
Yeah. It's
and
a lot of brothers.
In each case, it's the woman who is maintaining control
Yeah.
And boosting up the male counterpart.
Good point. I hadn't even thought of that. It really has been a very very brother sisterly episode.
Spice Girls all the way.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
And also for fuck Ramsay and Daenerys titties.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Absolutely.
I'm giving it 5 out of 5 stars. Gold stars.
Oh.
Yeah. Gold stars. I mean, there was nothing I would have, I was really missing. I thought it was nice.
Yeah, I would definitely give it like a 8.5 to 9 out of 10, just because it was good. I mean, obviously, it's really hard to get a 10. Like, it's going to have to be like some holy hell, because I mean, because if I wanted to, I could give every episode a 10, because there really hadn't been any episodes I could honestly be like, I just thought it sucked. All of them have had that's the good point of having so many different stories, is if this story's kind of having a lull, this one's like picking up momentum, but I give it a solid 8.5. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I'm really excited. I think it's setting up for some really cool stuff. Just for the I'm gonna go ahead and give it a 9. Just for the you killed my king, I killed your king, bitch.
Yeah, that felt good.
Standoff. Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 9.
Round it up to 9.
I'm gonna give it a 9. So great podcast, fellas. I'm really excited for next week.
Absolutely.
Same
Big
here.
things on the horizon. If you're a fan of The Walking Dead, don't forget to go check out our other podcast. What we do now, we're doing Fear the Walking Dead. We're going to get this Matt on there one day and have a battle of the Mats. Mm-hmm. Or maybe we'll bring the other Matt here, have a battle of the Mats. But check it out. It's just The Podcasting Dead. Find us, subscribe. And if you're new to this, subscribe. Imagine with us, imagine you're sitting around drinking beer talking about the show. That's the best way to think of it. We're not experts. We're not paid to do this. We all have lives. We can't sit. I wish I was paid to sit and research this show and know the back history. Maybe one day.
Wonderful. Yeah.
Help us get those subscribes up. Maybe one day. But, if you're new, subscribe. Find us on Facebook. I don't think we have a Twitter yet. No, we don't. Hell, I barely keep up with my own Twitter. YouTube's where it's at. But subscribe, share with your friends.
Definitely.
Anything else you guys want to leave them with?
I feel pretty good. Yeah.
Petition to have Ramsay's wiener cut off. That's what I'm going to leave you here. I want that to happen.
Send us your ideas for the things that you could do with Ramsay's wiener.
That'd be great.
After it's removed.
All right, yeah.
I suggested pin the tail on the donkey and twist her.
Mm-hmm.
Delightfully dark. We'll name all the fun things you could do with Ramsay's wiener. And also, if you have any theories or any ideas or any speculation, of course, you don't need to remind us when we pronounce names wrong. It's going to happen. This is Game of Thrones. This isn't Walking Dead where everybody's name is like Rick and Abraham. Very easy. These are hard to pronounce names. So, obviously, we're going to mispronounce. We are aware when we're working on them. Matt, I think, is the best right now at getting the pronunciations on. JP's doing good. We're working on it. But if you have any speculation or anything we get wrong, tell us. Like if we say that, like what I was talking about, why he could only possess Hodor instead of other people. If there's a reason why only, they've given, tell us.
Yeah,
so we can better discuss this.
Hey, we're just trying to figure it out.
Hell yeah. Well, episode 4 in the bag. I'm Justin.
And I'm JP.
I'm Matt.
And we'll see you next week.